Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So for you guys that are following the shorter version of this update of This Is Fate, so you know that the show has taken a 5-year sleep, and after 5 years Preeta has given birth to a baby girl for Karan, and you know Preeta was pregnant before Karan died, and Rishabh has become a very big businessman, and Samru and Shriti has also gotten married within the period of the 5 years. So let's continue. Rishabh won the auction of King Rashiv's palace, and he planned to use the palace for his hotel business. Mr. Agraval, that is Arjun Soryavanshi's subordinate, asked King Rajiv why he decided to let Rishabh buy his palace, even though he offered a bigger amount than Rishabh's offer. King Rajiv refused to say anything and he leaves. Rishabh comes to Mr. Agraval and tells him that he knew that the king was selling off the palace just because of a personal reason, and money is not everything, so he has already won the auction for himself. Mr. Agraval gets angry that Rishabh won against Arjun, and Mr. Agraval called Arjun and tells him that they lost the deal and Mr. Luthra won the deal. Arjun gets really upset that he lost a big deal to Luthra, and Arjun wonders who is this Luthra, and Arjun decided to visit India to know who Rishabh is and to get the deal from Rishabh by any means, because he has never lost to anyone up till now and he would never lose to Rishabh. Nidhi Induja, who is eager to marry Arjun, was not happy about his decision of leaving London and traveling to India, but Arjun promised Nidhi to return soon. Arjun arrives in Mumbai and he couldn't see Rishabh, who was not able to also see him at the airport. However, on getting to Mumbai, Arjun had an accident and all his files were thrown in the air, in which Rishabh and Preeta's pictures were part of the document that Arjun was holding. Arjun was lying in the pool of his own blood, and at home, Preeta begins to get restless, thinking that someone that she loves is in trouble. Preeta initially worries that maybe it is her daughter Kavya that is in trouble, and Preeta quickly goes to check on Kavya. Preeta says that Kavya is perfectly fine, and Preeta wonders why is she getting restless, as if someone close to her heart is in trouble. Mr. Agraval calls Anjali and informs her about Arjun's accident, and they rush to the hospital to check on Arjun. At the Luthra mansion, Raki is trying to arrange for a prayer at the house. Shriti and Samru comes there and they begins to argue and fight in their normal way. Grandma and Karina sees them and they smile, wondering why Samru and Shriti keep fighting with each other every time. Raki tells Grandma and Karina that cute silly fight is normal between husband and wife, but she has organized a prayer for Samru and Shriti's happy married life. Preeta comes there, but she gets restless again. Raki checks on her phone and she gets worried to see that Priest Vashisht is coming for the puja. Everyone asks Raki that why is she worried because of the priest that is coming. Raki tells everyone that Priest Vashisht is a powerful priest that sees even the future, and anything the priest predicts always comes true. Karina says that Raki is right, and she remembered that Priest Vashisht predicted that Raki would give birth to 2 children, in which the elder child would be a businessman and the second one would become a cricketer, and that prediction came to pass. Karina says that the same priest also predicted that 2 sisters from the same family would be married into the Luthra family, and that was why she hates Preeta so much, and she tried all her best to separate Samru and Shriti when they were friends, but fate cannot be changed, and today, the priest's prediction came true because Samru and Shriti are married now. Grandma says that they should not get worried unnecessarily and they should focus on the prayer. Just then, the priest arrived and everyone begins to get scared because of a sudden slight wind that follows the priest. Raki welcomes the priest for the puja and she explains to the priest that she wanted the puja to be done for Shriti and Samru because they just got married, and she also wants the priest to pray for Rishabh and Preeta as well. Everyone settles down for the prayer, but the priest asks about Rishabh. Raki and Karina explains that Rishabh had to go out for an important meeting, and the priest asks them to bring anything that belongs to Rishabh to the prayer, as that would represent Rishabh's presence. Preeta stands up to get something that belongs to Rishabh at the priest's order, but the priest scolds Preeta, saying that Preeta cannot stand up in the middle of the prayer. Surprisingly, Kavya arrives there and says that she can go to her father's room and she will bring something that belongs to her father. Kavya quickly ran to Rishabh's room and she opens the drawer. Kavya sees a bracelet in the drawer and she takes the bracelet to the priest. Meanwhile, the bracelet that Kavya gave to the priest belongs to Karan, and it was the same bracelet that the police found beside the river on the day that Karan died, and Rishabh kept the bracelet in his room. Not knowing that the bracelet that was brought by Kavya belongs to Karan, the priest continued to perform the puja. The priest says that the two lovers that were separated for so long would surely get reunited, and everyone worries because of the priest's words. Arjun is at the hospital after the accident, and the doctors has already performed surgery on him, but while on life support machine, Arjun begins to see the flashback of when he is being pushed off the cliff by two people, and it turns out that Arjun is Karan Luthra. While performing the puja, the priest tied a sacred thread on Samru and Shriti so that they can have a long life as a couple. Preeta also goes to the priest, and the priest tied the thread on Preeta's hand. Raki says that Preeta's husband Rishabh is not around, and the priest asks them not to worry because he will tie the thread on the bracelet, since the bracelet represents Rishabh at the puja. The priest begins to tie the thread around the bracelet, and immediately, Arjun begins to get restless at the hospital, and he begins to shout, calling Preeta's name and asking her not to push him into the river. At the Luthra house, the priest continued with the prayers, and the heavy wind begins. The priest saw Karan and Preeta's different marriage functions in the holy fire, and immediately, the wind was so heavy, and everything in the house begins to fall. Later, the priest concluded the prayer, and the priest suddenly stands up and goes towards Karan's picture that has a flower garland on it, indicating that Karan is dead. The priest removed the flower garland and shouted at the Luthras that why do they commit such an abomination. The priest says that a sandalwood garland is meant to be put around a dead person's picture and not around a living soul's picture. Everyone was shocked hearing what the priest is saying. The priest angrily removed the garland and throws it away, but Rishabh comes there on time and holds the garland. Rishabh scolds the priest for throwing the garland away because that is very disrespectful to his dead brother. The priest says that Karan is alive and they must never think that he is dead. The entire family were shocked to hear what the priest is saying. Raki tells the priest that Karan is dead, and that was why they got Rishabh and Preeta married to each other. The priest says that the entire Luthra family has committed a great abomination by getting Rishabh and Preeta married because Preeta's first husband is still alive. Rishabh tells the priest that they don't want to put garland on Karan's photo, but they don't have any other choice, so the priest should stop saying nonsense, and Rishabh angrily goes inside. Raki apologized to the priest for Rishabh's behavior and says that she knows that the priest always predicts well. But this time, she thinks that the priest is mistaken because Karan has died 5 years ago. The priest again says that Karan is alive and he knows what he is saying. Preeta couldn't take it anymore and she started running to the room. The priest asks Preeta to wait, and the priest tells Preeta to believe him that Karan is still alive, and if Preeta wants Karan to come back to her, then Preeta must always think of Karan, because the more Preeta think about Karan, the more Karan will be drawn close to Preeta, and Karan and Preeta would finally be united again. Okay guys, this is the real definition of problem no dey finish, because Karan is still alive. Rishabh and Preeta has already gotten married. If Karan comes back now, Preeta would definitely want to go back to Karan, and Rishabh loved Preeta so much. And from the beginning of the series, I thought Rishabh would get married to Preeta until the story changed and Karan got married to Preeta instead of Rishabh. So now that Rishabh has finally gotten what he has always wanted, so how would he feel by the time Karan returns and he has to leave Preeta for Karan? Omo, I just pray that Rishabh would not later become a villain in this series. I just pray. Anyways guys, the next update will be what happened that Karan now became Arjun, and why was Karan's face changed. Every details about that will be in the next video. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.